Thank you, Peggy, and welcome everybody. Thanks for joining us for our Investor Day today. So today what we want to try to do is to share with you our updated 5-year plan. It's all about capitalizing on sustainability megatrends and more than doubling our EBITDA over the years of the plan. But first, let me give you a brief overview of ICL. So ICL has 100 years of experience, over 12,000 employees. We're very proud to be leaders in ESG rankings. With $3.3 billion of EBITDA, our average dividend yield for the years since 2018 was 4.6%. We have distributed a global footprint, and we're very proud of it because it allows us to be close to our customers like we need and to our business partners. We currently sell to over 100 countries across the world. In terms of strategic advantages, we have highest concentration of minerals in the Dead Sea. We have the world's leading bromine derivative site. We have brands, certifications, licenses, unique know-how, endless unique know-how with amazing number of patents and IP, tremendous R&D capabilities. We have logistic advantages through proximity to ports and our global locations. And we have great access to the startup nation in Israel, access to high-tech and agri-tech ecosystem, which is thriving. Our strategy was and continues to be a leader in everything we do. So it's to be a leader in all of our specialty downstream businesses based on our unique global resources, customer relationships, and technological ingenuity as we continue to optimize our commodity resources. That's the way we look at business. We try to be a leader in everything we do, and if we think that we can't be leaders, then we'd rather not be in that business. Now let's stop for a minute and see where we are today. ICL today is a global leader in 2 of its 3 specialty businesses. Our industrial products business, which is close to 70% based on bromine solutions, is a global leader with 33% market share globally. Phosphate Specialties business is the only global specialty phosphate player in the world and currently has a market share of 20%, also globally leading business. And our Growing Solutions business, which has just been rebranded, is our division for plant nutrition products. And our Growing Solutions business aspired to become a global leader, and it has actually become one of the leaders in the recent couple of years through very significant organic and non-organic growth headed by 2 very accretive and successful acquisitions in Brazil. As a result of those, Growing Solutions has become a significant division for ICL. Before last time we presented, the profitability of the division was relatively marginal in terms of overall ICL. But now we enjoy a much better balance between the 3 divisions. So industrial products and phosphate solutions are already in a leadership position, and Growing Solutions is becoming one of the global leaders. Let's look at our progress since the previous Investor Day so we can see that all 4 of our divisions, and this is a view of our divisions, we actually have 4 divisions. So the 3 specialty divisions we talked about. One of them is the Phosphate Solutions division has both phosphate specialties and phosphate commodity products. Then we have one commodity division, which is potash and magnesium. That is a whole division that is dedicated to only commodities. The overall growth of ICL EBITDA during the first 2 years of the previous plan was 40%, and the specialties growth was 50%. Mind you that we're only presenting the progress until 2021. We look at 2022 as an extraordinary year, and therefore the numbers presented here are only until the end of 2021. We see very nice double-digit growth, and in the case of Growing Solutions, which also had non-organic growth, we see triple-digit growth. Let's look at the progression of EBITDA over the last few years. So we can see very, very nice progression of sales and EBITDA. And specifically, if we look at the recent few years, even in 2020, which was a down year all around, we can see that the specialties business has performed well, and we kept in stride with our plans. And if you look at 2022, again, an extraordinary year. A few other things have happened during the first 2 years of the recent plan. Our geographic footprint has changed considerably, and in a very, very good way, because we grew our business in South America, almost doubling it over the past 2.5 years through organic and non-organic growth. And the result is that we have a much better balance between northern and southern hemispheres. So on top of the very fast organic growth, the inorganic growth allowed us to leap closer to where we want to be. I want to talk a little bit about our journey on sustainability, since our strategy has been to capitalize on sustainability megatrends. We have, in recent years, we have done substantial work in order to strengthen our sustainability culture. When I talk about sustainability, I always say it's about doing the right thing, of course, but not just doing the right thing, doing things the right way and in the right timing. And I'm very happy to say that all of the employees in ICL are very connected to the sustainability culture that we're building. And we're going through a journey, a process. That journey is to go from a company that extracts minerals to a company that is committed to solve sustainability challenges globally using its minerals and its technological capabilities. And of course, when you tie sustainability into technology, you get a company that is completely dedicated and focused on creating sustainability-related products and solutions in order to succeed in business. So sustainability in our case is not just about checking the box. It's about who we are and what we do and how we build value in business. Our culture is growing by the day. We've decided to adapt all the benchmark reporting possible, and Aviram will talk about that a little later. We've also decided to participate in every ranking possible, with the thought process being that standardization still does not exist for all sustainability measurements, and we want to build the fastest learning curve possible in the world. And one of the ways to do that is participate in the various rankings that are out there, try to do our best in each and every one of them, get insights from each and every one of them that will help us grow our sustainability culture and become better by the day. And of course, the business impact is when we take sustainability criteria and focus and turn it into product innovation and new product offerings, then the business impact comes. We're also in a process of mapping all of our products in terms of impact on emissions. And of course, the low emission products also have business impact. We're even measuring our impact on global food security in terms of how many people ICL actually feeds. And I can tell you that ICL feeds the equivalent, all around equivalent of about 150 million people globally. We're very proud of that, and we're doing everything we can in order to grow that number every day. So I talked about sustainability, and of course our brand mission today, which is also our brand promise, is to create impactful solutions for humanity's sustainability challenges by leveraging our unique resources and technological ingenuity. And that brings us to technological ingenuity. We have put a lot of emphasis over the past few years in growing our technological capabilities at ICL. It becomes natural to us, but we've also created a unique ecosystem to ensure that ICL DNA is innovative DNA. And one of the main pillars was an internal accelerator that we created called BIG, which is Big Innovation for Growth. I will get to it in a minute, but what that did is got all of our employees to feel part of the new revolution that we've created in our innovation transformation. And employees, managers submit ideas, create projects. They turn into successful business ideas that are implemented and create additional EBITDA and growth for the company. We also put in place an external accelerator to source innovation that could be complementary to our internal innovation and can create additional opportunities for growth. And some projects we call breakthrough innovation, and we give them separate focus to make sure that they come to fruition and to maturity. And a couple of them you'll hear about later today from some of my colleagues. Operational excellence, we've stepped up our efficiency work, and we have in place about half of the total of $320 million of additional efficiencies that we intend to implement over the years of the next plan. We stepped up automation, and we've stepped up our work with external parties, with third-party startups. And as a result, we've created significant savings, significant efficiencies for ICL in recent years, and we have an aggressive plan for the next few years. In addition, we also put together a couple of startups. At ICL a few years ago, we came to the conclusion that the gold of the future in agriculture is data, but it's not enough to know that. It's also necessary to figure out how to create value from data. And we came to the conclusion that the best way to go about it was take our strategy and implement great ideas in separate independent startups that have the capability to energize themselves and not be dependent on any kind of corporate obstacles. And we'll tell you a little bit about one of those startups, about Agmatix, later today. I'll mention it soon. Open innovation, we've quadrupled the number of partners that we work with on creating innovation together, both with universities, academic institutions, and others. And that's also part of our ecosystem, of our growing ecosystem. And altogether, the result is that ICL lives and breathes innovation every day, and the results are according. I talked about our big Accelerator program, so just to give you an idea, we're talking about over 992 projects that have already gone live, additional almost 1,400 projects that are live. We've already realized $222 million of EBITDA growing from the big Accelerator program, and we have exceeded all of our expectations. And this is not just a one-time effort. This is growing quarter to quarter and creating great new opportunities for ICL. ICL is involved in so many great things these days that I thought that I would pause here for a second and give you an opportunity to view some of the fantastic things that ICL does and maybe you're not aware of. So please, let's see the short video.
ICL is all around us in countless ways we can't even imagine, enriching our food, making our homes safer, and improving our lives.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. The sun is shining bright down on me now. I found a sweet, happy feeling. I'd like to take the sunny days, put them in a song for all the world to enjoy. Every girl and every boy, and the sun is shining, and the song is rhyming, and the world is singing a song of one accord. Hand in hand we stand, with voices raised, the sunny days will never end. A song for all the world.
In all that we do, every day, ICL is there with safe, ecological solutions that enrich our food, make our appliances safer, and improve our lives. ICL, creating impact for a sustainable future.
Okay, so I hope you remember that ICL is all around you. Let's get back to business and talk about where we are versus the former plan. So we've exceeded expectations. We had plans to get to $1.1 billion of EBITDA by 2025, and we were very close in 2021. Actually, in terms of run rate towards the end of 2021, we surpassed that number. So in terms of what we intended to do, we did in a little over 2 years what we originally intended to do in 5 years. We have industrial products as the market leader, Phosphate Specialties as the market leader of Phosphate Specialties, but now also with sustainable double-digit growth, which we didn't have before. And we have Growing Solutions, a real contender for leadership in global plant nutrition business. But relative to the former plan, we also now enjoy very, very strong momentum, sustainable double-digit growth overall of our specialties businesses, and we also have a stronger balance sheet than we did before. Actually, a much, much stronger balance sheet because we also enjoyed the commodity upside of recent months, as you all know, and we expect to continue to enjoy that momentum for quite a while. And of course, that creates additional opportunities, including for additional investments in accretive M&A that can move us forward even quicker. And in general, why do we have to update the plan? We have to update the plan because it's become irrelevant. And why has it become irrelevant? Because part of the execution, actually most of the execution has already been achieved. We executed M&A quicker and better than we expected. We went through turnarounds and turned our bleeding businesses into profitable businesses. So our joint venture YPH in China, Bolby UK, our polysulfate business, and our magnesium business in Israel have all become profitable, and the turnarounds have been completed. Actually, we also went through some divestments of non-core or non-profitable businesses, and so we're a lot more focused and don't have as many unnecessary non-core businesses to deal with. We also signed as many long-term contracts as we thought we would sign until 2025. In 2021, our industrial products division completed in 2021 the whole plan of moving into strategic partnerships with our customers or taking into outsourcing bromine solutions from Asia to Israel. And in fact, that was so successful that we're using this kind of plan for other businesses now. So Phosphate Specialties, magnesium business, our Fertilizer Plus business based on polysulfate, all of those now have long-term contracts that give a lot better visibility to the business. And in fact, that continues to grow in terms of percentage from overall business. Innovation transformation and geographic alignment so far achieved and is still in full swing. So we're continuing with the accelerated organic growth in Asia and the non-organic growth that's gotten us to be significant in Brazil. Another thing has changed since the recent plan. There's a new market that we didn't address in the recent plan, and that is the energy storage solutions market, which has opened up to us mainly because of LFP, but also electrolytes and other, and I'll get to that in a minute. So there's a significant business opportunity that allows us to have sustainable double-digit growth in our specialty businesses, and it wasn't taken into account in the previous plan, so now we have an opportunity to update the plan and be more aggressive about accelerating growth. Finally, in terms of our plans for capacity additions, most of the capacity additions that we planned for specific products that we're growing have been completed, and what we have left is capacity increases in Spain, which actually are a little behind plan. But still, we plan to finish the capacity increases in Spain in the coming years. Nothing new, but again, because the new growth requires additional capacity, then of course we need to update our Capex plans as well. So let's talk about our new winning aspiration. What are we trying to do? So what we're trying to do is we're trying to, again, more than double the EBITDA from our specialties business, from our differentiated products business. We're trying to do that with high double-digit growth, and we intend to achieve leadership in all of our specialty businesses, which means we also aspire to win the plant nutrition market and become leaders in global plant nutrition. And then to be in a situation where we have 3 divisions that are all global leaders. And of course, with sustainable double-digit growth going forward. So let's talk about industrial products. And to remind you, we have the finest resource in the world. And as a result, that allows us to have a leadership position in the market. But what we did very well in the past is we increased the market by outsourcing some of the bromine solutions that were produced by our customers, outsourcing them to us. And then the addressable market suddenly grew, and we want to continue to grow the addressable market by introducing new applications in bromine and new applications in some of the other minerals that we use. And that requires 2 things. One is to complete innovation and partnerships, and 2, additionally expand capacity. I want to use one example here to give you a sense of the kinds of things that we're doing. So let's talk about electrolytes for EV batteries. One of the most significant innovations that we're working on is solid-state electrolytes based on bromine. And we have been able to partner with leading technology companies in the world to try to bring that vision into fruition. In the meantime, liquid electrolytes are currently produced in China. They're produced in China based on phosphorus. And now that global supply chains are coming up in the Western world, in Europe and in the US, a new opportunity presented itself because we are leaders in phosphorus-based specialty solutions in Europe and in the US. We actually have some available capacity in Europe, and we're building some additional capacity in the United States in order to produce PCl3 and or PCl5 for LiP6 electrolytes. And we are well positioned to become a leader in that space as we have the know-how and the capacity and the capability to work with phosphorus on this solution. And what that does is it puts us in a unique position where we can be very significant in the electrolytes market in Europe and the US, and at the same time work on the future disruption to disrupt the whole market with solid-state electrolytes based on bromine. So in the short and midterm, we're working on liquid electrolyte raw materials, and in the long term, on electrolytes based on bromine solution. Okay, with phosphate specialties, it's all about our unique global position, as we're the only phosphate specialties company that has a global footprint. And here again, I can give an example from the energy storage solutions space, where we got into LFP raw material production in China through our joint venture there, YPH. And now that global supply chains are being established in Europe and in the US, what's happening is that we have found partners to build capacity in Europe and the US for those global supply chains, but at the same time, we're leveraging our position and our know-how and our global footprint in order to go downstream. So we're actually putting together, we're actually going to set up a plant now for cathode material based on raw materials that come back to us. And you may have seen our recent press release. So we're setting up a new plant in St. Louis. And that is an opportunity that came to us through our expertise that was expertise that comes from China, global footprint, partnerships, ability to go downstream now with the opportunity presented to us that presented itself through Global Sustainability Challenge, electric vehicles globally. So on growing solutions, it's all about our geographical expansion. It's all about how we execute the geographical expansion while building a very diversified portfolio, how we create synergies from the acquisitions that we have made and continue to go through acquisitions and creating even more synergies and being close to our customer and adapting to growing needs in the market and the growing innovation in the market. We're well positioned for that growing innovation because we have the distributed global footprint. We're very agile, we're very flexible, and our global supply chain has proven itself as very resilient to geopolitical and other issues that we dealt with in recent years, including COVID, as you saw in the results I presented before. So we will continue with the geographic expansion and continue to build our innovative product portfolio, which has grown very nicely, and you'll hear a little about it from Elad, the president of the division, a little later. One more new business that I want to talk about today. The three specialty divisions you already know and you've heard about, and they're in good momentum, nice growth. But one of the elements of our new 5-year plan is growing a totally new division. I talked about data being the gold of the future, so how do you create that gold? And when we got started on thinking about our digital strategy a few years ago, we decided that it's not enough just to augment our fertilizer sales with digital capabilities or our digital supply or our global supply chain, but we have to think from the perspective of the future customer, of the future farmer. And the future farmer will use digital for almost everything. The physical world is already solved in terms of its ability to work almost autonomously. But the farmer is not digital savvy and does not really have the right tools to use digital in order to get what the farmer wants, which is to make a living and have things much easier. So we thought about our future customers, and we reached the conclusion that a significant digital tool in the future will not necessarily be limited to fertilizer, because the farmer needs to interact with seeds, with crop protection, with irrigation, with all the different aspects of agriculture. And so we thought of a common denominator to all of those, and the common denominator is that everything that happens in agriculture starts with field trials. Field trials are the essence of how products get vetted and how products come into the market, how they get benchmarked versus other products. And what we decided to do is to become a standard for field trials through digital technology. And we built an amazing tool through a startup that we set up in ICL called Agmatix. And what that tool has done is it has reached a point where it is becoming a standard. And I'm very proud to say that about 50% of leading academic institutions, leading universities in the world are already using Agmatix. And through this capability and know-how, Agmatix is becoming a data superpower. And a little bit about Agmatix you'll hear today from its CEO, from the CEO of Agmatix, from Ron Baruchi, and we're very proud of this. We have a very ambitious goal to have impact on 20% of global farming by 2027, and if that happens, and we think it could definitely happen, then data could become a fourth specialty division in ICL. Probably by this point, you're asking yourself, okay, he hasn't said anything about commodities, right? And commodities are about 50% of EBITDA in ICL. In the case of 22, maybe even more because of the year we're going through. Well, the reason I haven't said too much about commodities is that we're not really updating our plan on commodities. So we're still going to have the same capacity increases. We're going to increase from 4,900 tons run rate to about 5,300. Most of that is going to come from Spain that I mentioned earlier. In terms of the pricing, we updated the pricing in our plan a little bit to reflect mid-cycle prices. So we're using second half 2021 potash prices, which are equivalent pretty much to the CRU average expected price, and additional phosphate that we will need because of the accelerated plans for phosphate specialties growth, especially in the US and Brazil, will come from partnerships that we're working on. And of course, when we will be able to tell you a little bit more about that, we will. But we will need more phosphate resources given the limitations that we have on our current resources, especially, like I said, in North America and Brazil. The plan is still the same plan as it was, other than the need for additional phosphate resources. And we're still focused very much on lowering cost per ton and benefiting from market conditions. I talked about $320 million of efficiencies. Of those, about $220 million are on the commodity side. So it's very significant. And this is on top of the previous plan. So we have updated our efficiency plans based on automation, increase of capacity, and additional efficiencies that we plan to bring in. So what does all that mean? What does it mean for the results? So what it means is that we plan to grow at a 13% CAGR and 5% in commodities. That will bring us to almost doubling our revenues to about $12.8 billion. And EBITDA, we're going to grow by 16% on the specialty side. And the result is going to be a significant margin expansion from 24% to 28%. And this margin expansion is created because we're keeping the same, we're going to lower the G&A in terms of percentage of overall sales, and at the same time introduce the leverage of efficiencies and the leverage of our specialties growth. And the result is going to be that this margin expansion that we're showing here from 24 to 28%, which is very significant. So this is our plan to capitalize on the sustainability megatrends and to keep momentum and accelerate our momentum. And what you're going to hear today from my colleagues is a little more details on our plans, how we're going to increase beyond the 100% our specialties EBITDA over the next 5-year plan. But all of the ingredients that I talked about and the technological transformation and the sustainability upgrade that's happening these days in ICL, none of it could happen without an amazing management team that I have, and I feel very lucky and honored to be working with such an excellent group of people. And I think what's important for you, the shareholders, is that management is extremely engaged and committed, and I would say excited, which is even more important, to do what we do, because we do have a significant impact on the world, and it's growing by the day, and it's exciting when it happens, and we see, we can feel it in our fingertips. And it's also important that the goals and the KPIs and the compensation of management is fully aligned with shareholder value, with the goals of our strategic plan, and thus with shareholder value. And Viram will talk a little about that as well. And the end result is that what you've seen in my presentation today is that we delivered what we promised in 2020. We did it much sooner than expected, and we're coming out with very strong momentum into a new updated plan. There are tremendous opportunities for ICL amid the global sustainability challenges, the global sustainability megatrends, with ESS being the major one. We have the right fundamentals. We're positioned to achieve the growth. We have an excited, enabled, and committed management team and over 12,000 employees that are fully engaged. And of course, we have our expansion plans to accelerate growth. The end result will be almost $13 billion of sales at 11% CAGR and an EBITDA of 28% with the 4% margin expansion by 2027. So all around, we're on track to become the global leader in all three of our specialty businesses. You're going to even have a view of a new specialty business that we're building. And I hope you enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you.